All right, so this is interesting, I think. We had talked about Jimi Hendrix coming up and playing on stage. You couldn't remember when or where that was.
No.
That was for this teen pop,
I remembered it happening, but I didn't remember what the occasion was
or
where it was.
Teenage pop show at the Palladium in L.A. in 1969. And Jimi Hendrix showed up. Actually, he was there to pick up his Corvette that had been freshly painted. Delaney got wind of it, and of course, he had to get him
up to play.
So he had to play a guitar that wasn't his. And
we did Red House.
Yeah. And so, somebody had asked you about that, and I was trying to explain that names and faces, but dates you're terrible with.
I know I know every name and face to every person I've ever met or known in my entire life. It might take me a little while to put them together, but I get it. I'll get it every time. I'm not good with dates. I don't remember dates.
Well, that's why you had
because I don't think about time.
Yeah. I mean, well, who sits around thinking about that?
I don't know, because suddenly I turned around and I was like 34, and then I turned around and I'm 72. Yeah. Oops, what happened?
Right. I mean, that's
I don't think about those things.
You had Mark Roberti doing all the dates in your book because you didn't know the dates.
I couldn't remember the dates. I remember the incidences. I remember the entire story. I can put you in the room right there with me, beside me on the organ. But the date, I couldn't remember. And Mark Roberti, what he did was to get dotted all the I's and crossed the T's and got all the dates right for all the different venues that we played.
Well, he's a music historian. You're not. You're the musician. Who sits around writing down everything they do?
No, hell, all I could do. I compartmentalize everything. I talked about this once before, but I compartmentalize everything, and I've always done that. But not dates and figures, not that at all. Because that's confusing enough doing it on paper or on a computer or whatever.
Well, so when you said that he wasn't Jimi Hendrix really wasn't known by anybody, it was because you really didn't know him at the time.
No, he played psychedelic music, was what we thought. Psychedelic guitar, not the same thing that we were used to. And I didn't, I'm coming from Memphis, and it's all about rhythm and blues and rock and roll. Had nothing to do with anything, feeding back and biting the air guitar and player and all that stuff,
So did you really not know who he was?
No, I'd heard of him, but I didn't know who he was. I'd never listened to anything like that. I listened to Sam and Dave and stuff,
Well, I think now it's kind of confusing because nowadays when you hear of somebody, famous, it's like everybody knows them. And I think it has to do with the computer age and, things like that. But back then, that didn't exist. So it would take much longer to get information from England and back and forth. And
there would be only like a certain set of people that would go see Jimi Hendrix. A certain bunch of folks came to see Delaney and Bonnie. Certain bunch of folks go see Booker T and the MGs, but that's the one that I came from, that one, and it morphed into the Delaney and Bonnie situation. Right. So I brought all that with me, and my background.
And apparently Jimmy had played the Star Spangled Banner many, many times, something like 28 times, I don't know exactly, but quite a few times.
I like his thing about Machine Gun, and the Star Spangled Banner is good. I was caught up on what I didn't know about. When we recorded Little Wing, I didn't know what the hell that was.
That's right, you did.
We did Little Wing with the Dominoes, and I had to learn it.
On the spot.
On the spot, and I was writing down the lyrics while Dwayne and Eric were getting their parts together, and I was listening to it at the same time. When I got through doing this, and that's after listening to it like twice or three times, It was like roll tape.
So you listened to the Jimi Hendrix version, or did?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
And so, how did you come up with your version? You just played it on the spot, and it just happened.
Yeah, just played it on the. Listen to the Jimi Hendrix version just to get it all down, and get the lyrics right. But not to try to emulate or play anything he had played, because what we did was entirely different than what Hendrix did.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy. I thought he was gay. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Kiss this guy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you have any other thought or memories of that moment when he got up and played with you guys?
No, just doing it. We had a lot of people get up and play with us, and it was always great. It was always really good,
Sure.
But except for Bill Cosby on the cowbell, The guy had no rhythm.
Well, I saw that, David Carradine used to get out in front of Delaney and do his kung fu.
Yeah. He was another one.
So let me
Don't get me
that.
going on that David Carradine thing.
Let me ask you this then, because somebody had asked about Roll It Over. Can you? They wanted to know how it was when you recorded that, and what that was like recording Roll It Over.
Well, the recording is one thing, but the writing of it was another. And Eric and I we were like, we had written "Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad? Tell the Truth," and it was like we hit one of these. Well, what are we going to write about today? And what are we going to write about now? So let's write a clean, dirty song. Yeah. So, roll it over and take it from behind, Yeah, but we didn't say anything dirty. We just painted a picture.
Did you ever do it live?
Yeah. We did it live on the road, man. It was good, too. I played organ.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was a great rock and roll song. Clean, dirty song.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Go down easy. Let me take my time. Go down easy. And let me take my time. Rock me slow till I lose my mind.
Yeah.
Roll it over. Just take it from behind. Roll it on. Take it from behind. Rock me slow until I lose my mind. Oh, God. Youth, huh?